Hey guys, it's OP Rob here. So, after reading chapter 864 a couple of times, I have come to understand the chapter a little bit more than I did when I first read the chapter. I mean, to be honest with you guys, I was at first, I was hella confused when I read it. I mean, all the Big Mom stuff, and the part where Capone had Luffy on the floor, and with Brooks' head, and Luffy laughing. That I had essentially I really had no clue what was going on in that moment of reading it, which is why I didn't actually do a review after reading it. However, I now understand it much better now. It seems to me that somehow from what I've read, that some part of or all of Capone's plan will work. Now I do wonder, people, that obviously what we have to think about is if it means that Big Mom's death will occur. Is that why? Sorry, is that what is that what Dog 2 saw? Or does it mean that she Dog 2 saw her, or sorry, does it mean that either Capone's plan will work, if a Big Mom will die, or maybe Big Mom will revise her scream that she did previously in the previous situation where Mother Caramel's photo was dropped? Is that what's going to happen, or will Big Mom die? Or we don't know at the moment. But I definitely believe that the scream will occur. However, I do believe that because of the different forces that have occurred, or I should rather say they have the different situations and forces that have transpired to confuse Big Mom, there is a high possibility that Big Mom will probably either go into a coma or sort of collapse and become unconscious. I feel like that could happen. It could almost be like a heart attack type of situation, or a stroke or something. And this could ultimately be the perfect situation for the Fire Tank Pirates and the Straw Hat Pirates to make an escape without actually killing off Big Mom. Simply because I don't believe that her commanders will allow them to kill her. That's assuming that Big Mom is actually is collapsed and is unconscious. But enough of all that that mini review. Ultimately, my true goal of this video it's not to make a prediction of how Whole Cake would end, because I'm almost kind of tired of making predictions of how it will end, because it changes every time Oda just does something interesting that changes my view of what's going to happen. But this video is actually to provide an insight into why I believe Big Mom should not be killed, or rather why Big Mom living could actually prove helpful in the future. And guys, by future I don't actually mean like Wano, like she's gonna help. I don't mean Wano, and I don't really mean Elbaf either. But by future I actually mean we're talking about the end of One Piece, basically. The last war, what I think the end war, whatever we want to call it, but basically the last big war kind of thing. I say this with conviction, because ultimately what us fans and readers should understand is that the last fight or war will not be the Straw Hats against the Blackbeard Pirates. That's not going to be the last fight in One Piece, but rather it will be an overall battle between pirates in general and the overall world government. By overall world government I mean the Navy, and also the Gorosei, and whoever the Celestial Dragons have as their pawns or allies. The war will have one side of pirates, and the other will be ultimately the world government. And the reasons why I state this is just like there's too much information for me to elaborate on why um there's going to be a big war between the pirates and the world government. We already it's ultimately most of us would believe that okay, it's going to be the revolutionaries against maybe the girl side or against the world government, but no, because ultimately it has to be pirates because the world government are against pirates. You see what I'm saying? So like even the revolutionaries are also pirates. They're just a different kind. They're pirates that go directly against the world government. So it doesn't matter. It's just yeah. So I mean to elaborate on why this is going to be a very big sort of war, it will be too much because there's so much information talking about it. We would have to go into the One Piece and I don't really want to go into all of that right now. But I mean, small examples, could be Blackbeard's. I remember Blackbeard's speech in the early stages. When Teach first met Luffy, and I can't remember what town it was, but before Skypiea. But the speech that Blackbeard gave, and also as well as Doflamingo's speech when he was speaking to Turu-san, when he was in when he was locked up or in chains, but when Blackbeard mentioned that the world government are probably much worse than the pirates, and that pirates are probably not that bad compared to the world government and what they do, I definitely believe that after the One Piece is found by the Straw Hats, there will be other pirates also, or maybe all major pirates, will learn the truth about the ancient world. So I feel like basically the Straw Hats will spread this message, and then I think they will give the opportunity to other pirates. Maybe, but obviously I feel like Luffy would have to fight Blackbeard, but I can see in a way Blackbeard. I can see Teach I can see him changing. There's two things. I can definitely see Teach changing because maybe his history is just ridiculous that it's made him who he is. But I can definitely see Teach changing. But I can also see him siding with the world government in the end. But what I'm saying is, when Luffy and Cole find the One Piece, I definitely feel like they're gonna share the information of major pirates that are around and stuff. And learn the truth about the ancient world and the Void Century, and all the truth will be obviously revealed. And this truth will bring all or most pirates together. As once the One Piece is found, unless for selfish gain, there isn't any reason for the pirates to really fight against each other, really, except Luffy and Blackbeard are the only two, and that for me, I think will happen before the One Piece is actually found, or maybe just on the verge of finding the One Piece. But ultimately, with that happening, I feel like in the war, there's going to need the pirates are going to have their own teams, and they're going to need the strongest. They're going to need all the firepower that we can get, but they're going to need the strongest. And people like Big Mom, and Shanks, and I don't know, maybe Eneru, people like that, maybe Doflamingo, people like that. I feel like they will be very, very useful in this war because, as I said, the war isn't just, people get it confused. They think it's just, oh yeah, it's gonna be maybe the Straw Hats and the revolutionaries against the world government. No, because the whole world government and the celestial, dragons section is bigger than what we've seen. We're talking about the Goro side, who are probably ridiculously powerful. And we've only got 4 Yonko, and the Goro side there's about 6 of them. So you're gonna tell me that 4 Yonko are going to fight against 6 Goro side? No, I don't think so. Before we even get down to the admirals, Navy admirals. So we're looking at a big team of pirates, big major pirates that need to be involved in the situation. So I'm thinking that Big Mom, definitely in this type of situation, she would be absolutely pivotal in helping all of them, because ultimately it's a victory for pirates that they need, because the pirates lost the war in the Marineford. That war was lost. The pirates lost the war. It wasn't just Whitebeard against, it was actually pirates v it was pirates v world government. And ultimately that's actually the reason why Shanks stopped the war, came to stop it, because without Shanks stopping the war, all the pirates would have died. Shanks came to basically advocate or step in for the pirates. You understand? Because if you rewatch or reread Marineford, you realize when Whitebeard actually asks Buggy for assistance. He basically asked Buggy to help to fight in the war as well, because he said that we should ally together as pirates to fight against them, which shows that, you know, the war is, it wasn't just, you know, a sort of, oh yeah, it's Whitebeard versus, no, it's a pirate versus world government thing, because of the way the world government have perceived pirates and the way they've revolved the world against hating pirates, sort of thing. So ultimately, this war, this final war, because the One Piece has been found, the world government obviously, you know, this sort of war would obviously include these two different belief systems, pirates and obviously so-called justice, quote unquote, to fight against each other. And definitely, I feel like, you know, Big Mom being alive would be useful, definitely, in including the Elbaf giants. You understand? I mean, if they're pirates as well. But Big Mom will definitely be useful. Can you imagine her team with Karakuri and all of them, and then Luffy, and the only person that maybe we might be tricky about is Blackbeard. But I definitely feel like Teach. Why shouldn't Teach be there? Because I can definitely, like, don't get me wrong, I don't really like Blackbeard, but I don't really like him, but I kind of like him a little bit. Like, with Teach, he's like the natural enemy. So Luffy will defeat Teach, and that would be done for, but his strength would still be required. And I don't know if Luffy's going to kill him, but it could turn out to be a case where we find out the truth about Blackbeard, and he actually, you know, feels remorse for what he's done with Ace and everything. And it could be his redemption to actually come in and say, you know what, we'll fight for pirates. Because I definitely feel like Blackbeard, because when we first met Blackbeard, if we take out everything else Blackbeard has done that's bad, and we go back to, you know, when we first met Teach, when you actually re-watch that speech again, it really seemed like this man is a really cool guy. Like, it's like, for me, maybe Blackbeard has split personalities, you never know, but ultimately that's what I think. But yeah, as a result, I don't really think that Big Mom should die in any way, because I feel like in terms of future ally, it's definitely possible that she could be. But for now, of course, she's crazy and she's weird and she's evil, you know. But in terms of the greater what do you call it, victory in a war, she might actually be the person that could help them, one of the people that could help them. But yeah, that's what I think. Guys, let me know what you think. Give a comment and just share your opinions on what you think. Give ideas of what you think may happen. Maybe Big Mom should die. Maybe she will die. We don't know. But this is what I was thinking about as a theory that I came up with. But I felt like, you know, someone like her could be useful, and of course. But yeah, as usual, click subscribe, like, dislike, comment, and it's Rob, baby. What up?